Hey guys, thanks for joining us again for another F45 weekly forecast. This week we will be covering Monday, April 2nd to Friday, April 6th. Now keep in mind, guys, it is non-farm news events happening at the end of this week, so all trading will need to be done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. I wouldn't suggest trading into Thursday or Friday. Just because of market volatility and the whole bit. You know the drill. So we're going to try and have a peek and see a couple of levels that can get tagged here before the big non-farm event that's happening on Friday here. At the time of this recording, it is Monday evening, so Monday's trading has come to a close, and we're now in the Asian session, and we're just actually about 15-20 minutes away from the London Open at the time of this recording. So we might see a little bit of movement during the recording, but I just sort of want to discuss a couple of levels because, again, starting with the US dollar, again, we're still in this trading range here. Really nothing has happened. Thought last week with the all the news in the, what was it, the FOMC, sorry, interest rate announcements and everything going on last week that we would have seen a nice market uh, event happen, and really it was very, very muted. It was this candle right here, and price slowly started to trade down. We did not penetrate these lows under here, and then we traded off of it quite rapidly, actually. And this was yesterday's candle, Monday, April the 2nd, and now we're into Monday, April 3rd's candle right here. So really didn't do a whole bunch of anything. Now I have marked a couple levels off where I think we will trade to. Ultimately, uh, again, they're squeezing the dollar, they're raising the interest rates. Um, there's a couple of levels technically on the weekly that I believe we should start tagging into, which is, I've mentioned this before, which would be down into here. Now, if we fail to get through this lower range down here, we will be looking for higher prices. But I do believe before we go higher, I think we'll come down one more time and make one more run down. I've mentioned that a number of times. We haven't seen it yet. So I thought last week that was going to be the catalyst that was going to start the run down, and it just did an about face and completely reversed, putting in two very, very bullish candles. So ultimately, here's my thoughts, and it's very, very simple. I'm looking for a move lower tomorrow into Tuesday's trading. Not too much lower. I don't think we're going to be going down below these lows or anything, but I'd be looking for price to sort of come down and potentially. Uh, I've got these candles marked off right here. There's a real area, very, very strong area of confluence right in here. And I believe we could tag off of this area in here and then start making a run if they want to come up and take these highs. I'm still looking for them to take these highs. They attempted to do it right in here. I'd really like them for them to bang price off of the bottom of this consolidation area in here, and only because they traded price very, very efficiently in this area here, and then they really dropped price down and did one brief return back up. And again, price trades from consolidation to consolidation. So I believe we are, price briefly poked its head up above uh, right here, grabbed a couple stops and ran lower. And I think the failure to get below here as of so far, I think that could mean that we might the U.S. dollar may try to push higher one more time. Now I could be wrong. Monday could have created the high, and we could fall off straight from here because Monday did fail to get above these highs here. So we could just fall straight off the board and keep going at lower rate from here, and I could be totally wrong. But there are two areas. If price does break above here, I'll be looking into this area here and coming up to the 90, pretty much 90.50 level, 90.45 level would be the target if price broke up above here. And to the downside, again, if on the hourly, I'd like to see price come down, sweep these lows here, and then stop right about here, and then continue higher. If price breaks this level here, then I'll be looking for the 98.70 level to get tagged, and that's just this old consolidation level right in here. Now, if price does not stop here, then we will be looking for those old lows on the daily to get tagged out and to get ran. So that's kind of the line in the sand. I'll be looking for a price to bounce at the 89.20 level And if it wants to show willingness to go lower than there, I'll be looking at the 88.70 to sort of hold price back. If it goes lower than that, then again, we'll be taking those lows. But um, we definitely had a hard time on Monday's trading. I'll put on the data divider so you can see what we're talking about here. So this was Monday's trading, and sorry, Friday. We definitely had a hard time making any real gains at all. It was basically just a sideways consolidation day. Then they dropped the price in on Monday, creating the low and powered it back up. So I would have kind of hoped they would have taken these highs out on Monday, but what we could be doing is just doing one more quick drop back down into trading on Tuesday. And the other area that I'll be watching for as well too is right here. Price rated about here, basically the top of this consolidation area at 89.55. If I don't see price willing to run higher than this, then I'm going to assume that Monday was the low of the week. But I'm still optimistic that Tuesday could put the low in and see some sort of a bounce somewhere in this area here. And I'll just put maybe a price tag on that as well too, so you guys can see. I kind of like this 89.25 level as a potential area. But again, if price wants to go lower than there, then we will adjust accordingly. But that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see price run off and either at 89.55 or 89.25 and start to run higher. And again, I'd like to see if it can make any ground above these highs on from last Thursday. Take those out. And the only reason, again, I'm thinking that is because we had such a bullish reaction once price got back down here to a very logical level. We had such a nice bullish reaction, and really they have not come back to grab any stops above the market since it created that high back at the end of February. So. But really, I mean, you look at the daily and you look where we're at, and we're really chopping in this consolidation. So price could honestly go anywhere at this point. It's just a little bit above the 50% level of this big run down here. So if price is unwilling to go higher from here, I will be looking lower, and I'll be looking for at least this price level in here and this one down here that I identified, this old low in here at 88.70 to hold price back. And if it wants to go lower than there, then again, we could be seeing these prices ran out if that's the case. But I'm a little more bullish on this right now, and only because of this price rejection that we've had here. But we could have ran up into resistance in here. You know, again, even if they come back up and run the stops and then go lower, I'd like to see that than them just dropping it out from this current position right now. So we'll have to wait and see how Tuesday's trading comes about to give us some real direction. But Monday had a nice up day. I'd like to see some continuation into Tuesday, maybe one more leg higher. Try and run these highs even into Wednesday, and then roll over from there. So we'll see how that pans out. But going into the Euro USD, similar idea. I mean, it's really nothing, just chopping straight sideways. And I actually made a comment to someone earlier today that not conducive to trading in my opinion when it's like this. It's just, I mean, I'd be buying the low here and selling the high here, and since this price has been trading in this consolidation, you would have been right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 times so far in the past 3-4 months on this trade. So if anything, if price does come get down to here, I might look for it to sweep the lows here and maybe even sweep the low here. If price goes lower than here, I'll be looking for a bounce at this level here to run higher. But I think short term, again, same type of idea as the US dollar. I'd be looking for a shallow move higher and then a retracement and continuation lower. But we will have to wait and see how that one pans out. But really just I don't really like trading in these consolidation areas. And so right now price is building up positions. And ultimately, I do think we are going higher on this. But short term, I've been saying it for a while, I would like to see that drop lower, and them just continuing to consolidate this thing just gives me even more reason to believe that I think they're going to take the lows out before they do run it higher. But we will, again, just have to wait and see. But I don't see anything on this in the immediate future that I'd like to trade right now. I'd like to see price convincingly either break above here or break below here in order to key off a couple of levels. Pound dollar, again on the daily, we did have a failure swing up here. So price created a high, ran back down, failed to get above the old high here. ran out the bodies of these candles and then has been trading weaker ever since. And then we had another nice bull run here for about a month and a half, and price again failed to get above those highs. And I'll put a line on there so you can see the failure swing. So that's kind of indicative. It kind of leads me to believe that I think we could see lower prices on the pound. And really, this is not really trading too conducively to what I mean, the past couple of days has been trading very close to the US dollar. You can see the run up in the dollar and then the decline in the pound. So that kind of leads me to believe if this has now started to snap back in alignment with the US dollar, and the US dollar does want to push higher short term, we could see a bit further run down on the pound before it continues higher. Now again, same as the euro, I'm very bullish. My stance is not changing on this pair. I do believe we will take out these old highs from the previous Brexit swing that dropped price. But in order to get there, I think we may be dropping back down a little bit first. Some levels, I had my charts actually all marked up earlier here today, and I don't know what I hit. I accidentally hit some button and everything disappeared off of my charts. All of these charts at the bottom that I had open with all my levels marked off had disappeared for some reason, and I had to, and these are all naked charts now. I have nothing on my charts. There are a couple of levels that I am looking at lower on the pound. So if we go out to more of a long-term horizon, these areas in here, see these lows in here, I'd like to see these lows swept and key off, same type of idea as the euro. See if we can't key off a couple of levels down here at 136.50, maybe even a little bit lower. And that just comes off of those old dailies back in here that I've had outlined for a while. So on the hourly though, again, I'll put the day dividers on here. So you can see Monday's trading came out, made a bit of a high, came back down, failed to go lower. Tuesday, if Tuesday can get above here, I'd almost be looking for a run potentially up into this level here. Now Monday could have created the high. I mean, there's definitely no two ways about that. If it's created the high, then we're going to see lower prices from here on out. And there's actually a level right here. You see this right here? Price created two equal lows. That, just so you know, like that's a big red target radar on your, that should be flashing on your screen. They will come down for these lows. Do you see these equal lows right here? They will come down for those. And same as these equal highs up here, they will come up for those equal highs as well. It's just a matter of when they're going to get to them. So initially, we could be seeing another drop lower. So just to kind of go back to the dollar, if we do see this initial drop in the dollar, I don't know how deep it's going to retrace. If it does, right, 89.55 or 89.25, and then a run higher, we should see the exact opposite on the pound dollar. So we should see a brief run higher, and I was hoping sort of into the levels in here, and then a continuation lower. And I would again like to see these high or these old lows run out from last week if they can do that. Price has been very, very bearish so far. And I think you see this long move up here. If you take a fib off of this level, I would honestly say the more likely area for a bounce would be somewhere down around these Fibonacci levels. 61, 72, or 79, very, very high potential for a bounce, and even the 50 level. And again, you can see that would be a perfect run if price took the stops down here by about 20 pips at that 50% level and then bounced higher. So I will be looking for that, but Tuesday's trading will really tell us what they want to do. If Monday's going to create, or sorry, Tuesday's going to create the high and then continue to drop lower for the week, then that will probably let us know here fairly quickly. So we'll be watching for that. And again, all the bulk of the trading I'd like to get out of the way. So we will be putting out a signal for this pair here going forward if this does happen. Now, if price comes down, so here's the other thing. If price just starts trading soft, you can see we've got a couple of candles starting to fall off right here. But if price starts breaking down and starts breaking down lower, then this idea would be closed, and I wouldn't be looking for that. I would look for them to come down, sweep these lows, and then resume higher. But so far, it's made a nice push off of these lows on Monday so far. So we'll see what happens. And then again, line in the sand, if price breaks these And I'll put a couple of price charts up here on the level on the chart here, so you can price tags on the chart. 41.10, and really that 41, probably 30, nice sort of round number there. Those would be sort of the line in the sand. If price has any willingness to go higher than there, same as the US dollar, if price has any willingness to go lower than those levels in there, then I'll be watching for highs up in here, and we can look at a market shift then. But this is sort of what I'm looking to pan out. Moving on, I don't want to make this a very long session. I'm going to wrap it up fairly quickly. US CAD, I'm not looking at anything other than that this could be a potential head and shoulders pattern. You can kind of see the consolidation in here. Essentially price putting in one of the shoulders, another shoulder, and then the head of the move up here. And really this essentially would be, if you're any type of a trend line trader, you'd be trading off of these levels in here. I'll jump down to an hourly so you can see it a little bit better. So you can kind of see these. Hang on, let me get this level a bit closer. This would sort of be the neckline of that trade there. And you could kind of see price now looking, if it is going to break lower, it should bust this level of support in here and start trading lower. But again, we'll have to see. The US dollar, sorry, the US CAD has not been trading very closely to the US dollar, which is usually the catalyst for the pair, and whatever the US dollar does, this will do. You can clearly see that that is not the case in this versus what the US dollar is doing, which is in that consolidation. So really it's anybody's guess. If the US dollar pushes higher, I would be expecting to move higher in here, but we could be seeing a small pattern lower before that comes to fruition. And again, just another quick level. If you take it off of this, a fib off of this big move right in here, a more realistic area for a bounce would be somewhere into around here, maybe into here. But again, if we keep going lower off of here, I don't like the chances of this thing coming back up anytime soon. You could see much, much lower prices and potentially even come and trade back down to these levels down here. So if you're a US CAD trader, I would hold off on your long positions for the time being. Moving along to crude oil, had a bit of a down day on Monday. Price fell right off. It failed to take out the highs. It just basically ran the stops is sort of what I'm driving out of these old levels in here. Failed to get above that and just traded off huge today. So I am looking at continued downside on crude oil. And I'd be looking first for price, though, to trade up a little bit higher. I've got this fib on here. It might be confusing some people. Let me just get that off of there. I would be looking for price to trade a bit higher off of these levels. And to be honest with you, this consolidation level in here, this would be a good area for price to, if it does trade higher, to bounce at. I wouldn't want to see price go higher than this yet. I am still bullish crude oil, but we could be taking some liquidity under the market first before it does want to do that. And so the 64 level, 64.10 even, would be sort of the level I'd be looking at. Basically, any bounce up in here, I'd be looking for a continuation lower. Now, keep in mind, this could be all the bounce that they need. There's a lot of times that they'll do that. They'll create a low in here and just really do a very, very shallow retrace, and then continue and power it lower. So just bear that in mind. Maybe even this level here. And again, I apologize. I had all these levels marked out on the charts beforehand, and I did something on it. I don't know what. And it just blew all my charts away, so I apologize. But the 63.55 level would be another level I'd be potentially looking for an area for price to come up and start to roll over. If you see it power through here, hang on, and the 64 level, I would be looking for price to bounce. So if you do, and again, same type of idea, that head and shoulders pattern I was talking to you about the CAD, we kind of see that right here as well too. This being the shoulder, the head, another shoulder. And then price has fallen out of bed there. So again, I would be looking at, if this was the neckline, right, of that move, it's kind of like this in here and in here, I would be looking for price to move off of the bottom end of that trend line, and then continue lower as I've been outlining here. So I would be looking any move higher. longer I'd be looking to fade and get lower and potentially come down. I've got another level marked out here at 59.16, 59.15 area. That would be my target. Again, long term, I'm bullish, but I think intermediate for early part of this week anyway, I am going to be bearish on this, and I think price will roll over. So just keep that in mind. It may not want to come up. It may just want to start rolling from here, and we'll have to just wait and watch to see what price wants to do if it does do that. But just keep that in mind. That may happen. So. We have got a live session happening tomorrow morning, New York session. I'll be jumping on to trade the markets with you guys. So you can watch for that at 8 a.m. New York time. I'll be jumping on trading for about an hour. And then on Wednesday morning, Dave will be jumping on and he'll be trading gold, S&P, and US dollar, Japanese yen, and a couple other pairs there, so you can watch for that. But that's pretty much all the levels I want to discuss today. Actually, sorry, there is just one more on Bitcoin real quickly. Price really traded off of these levels up in here that I had mentioned a couple of weeks back very, very nicely, and it's been trading softer. So very, very nice move, breakout. I would not want to see price go any higher than here. If it does want to push higher than this 76.85 level, then we could potentially be rallying above here, and my eyes would eventually go up into this level up in here. So just keep that in mind. I'll be looking to go short up in there. If price does have a willingness to go through, I'm going to hold off on that idea, and we'll be looking for higher prices. But you can see here we just failed. The price came in, closed under the bodies here. Very, very bearish sentiment on this, and I do think we are going to have lower prices on Bitcoin. So again, if you're a holder of Bitcoin and you're going long, just be careful. We may get a short-term retracement in here, but I don't think they're going to come up for these highs quite yet. I think there's still a little bit of, I'm going to label this out here, and this isn't the first time you've seen this. These highs in here, I believe, are going to be targeted, but I don't think the downside is finished being run quite yet. We've had a very, very nice down move. So I would expect, after this move here, I would expect a little bit of a retracement. If these highs get broken again, if these highs get broken in here at the 9,000 level, we'll switch our stance short term, and they could make a run for it there. But I'd be very surprised if price had a willingness to get above these levels in here. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, had a big sell day today, last week, and Monday's trading was sort of sideways. So we'll wait and see. Tuesday could be creating the high of the week, and again, I wouldn't be looking for price to get above there. So I'll be looking for some shorts on this, and we'll just have to wait and see as to where price wants to go from here. But just a couple other levels. Another small area of consolidation I'd be looking for a return back up to. If price goes through there, that's the next level we'll be looking at. And if we get through there again, we'll have to wait. But I am looking for downward prices, a continuation of the downward on Bitcoin. So that's everything, guys. I appreciate your time. Hopefully you got a little bit of insight out of the recording here today. And again, I'll be back doing a live session New York time tomorrow. So we will catch up to you then. Have a great week of trading. Remember, it's non-farm on Friday, so get all your trading done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. Thanks. We'll talk to you next time.